Our public relation officer has informed that this press conference is being held to give you some information about our sixth convocation, Sikkim University sixth convocation, which has just begun. So I am going to give you a few highlights of this convocation. This convocation is a little different from other convocations held by other universities. And the reason for that, this difference in the way we are holding convocation is as follows. Ladies and gentlemen, I very strongly think that the convocation is a very important event in the academic life of a student. And not only for the student but also for the university. Basically, it's a joyous occasion. It's an occasion which has to be celebrated. It's an occasion to be very happy about. It's an occasion to be proud of what the student has achieved. Student can be proud of what he has achieved, and the university can be proud as to what it has given to the student. So I very strongly think that it's a very happy occasion, very joyous occasion, and it should be celebrated. It calls for a celebration, and celebration not for a day. Normally you have convocation for a day, so it's held in the morning or for the whole day. People come, give lectures, and the degrees are handed out, degrees and medals are handed out, and then by the evening everybody goes home. But that's not the way you celebrate things, Celebration has to be joyous. There has to be various activities to show that people are celebrating. So I thought that this time we should actually celebrate convocation rather than have convocation for a day. Keeping that in mind, we thought that we will organize not only convocation and degree giving session and the medal giving session, but also have various other activities which indicate that we are celebrating. For instance, other activities like music, dance, cultural events, lectures, academic activities, and some variety of activities which signify celebration. So keeping that in mind, we organize. This time the convocation is not a day's convocation; it's a convocation for a week, and that week has kicked off yesterday. So in this week, this is the week preceding the convocation. So there are various activities which have been organized in this week. They will take place, and they will build a momentum. They will build up enthusiasm for convocation, and all these week activities ultimately will culminate into convocation on the 18th and the 20th. So in this week we are having 4 activities. Yesterday we had Kavi Sammelan, which was organized by Sikkim University, and which was a multi-language Kavi Sammelan. Not only in Hindi, but in Hindi, Nepali, Limbu, Lepcha, Bhutia, in fact all the languages of Sikkim. So again, celebrating the wide diversity of languages of the country. Today and tomorrow we have lectures by very eminent persons whom we have invited from other parts of India and very famous institutes, very learned people. So they are giving lectures today and tomorrow. And ultimately on the 17th we have a grand cultural evening about folk dances of Sikkim. And all these 4 activities will culminate into a convocation which will be held on the 18th and the 20th. Why 2 days? Because we have large number of students. Sikkim University, as you know, is a publicly funded university, and we have large number of students because our whatever education we give, as opposed to other universities, is very affordable. It's not like other universities where fees is exorbitant. So we have a large number of students. And not only that, because of COVID, we could not hold convocation in 1920, 2021. Our last convocation was held in the year 2019, November. After that, we were not able to hold convocation because of COVID. So all those students who could not receive degrees in 19, and 20, and 21 will receive now. So that is why we have a large number of students, 3,700 students will receive degrees and medals. And that is why we have arranged it on 2 days, on the 18th and the 20th. Apart from that, the other highlights of the conference are that this time in our convocation, we have taken some very strong measures to make our degrees and medals fake proof. Because you may have heard that many nowadays the racket of fake degrees, fake certificates is rampant, and all universities have to take measures to prevent it. We have a new COE now who joined last year, and I will, after my address, I will request him to give you some numbers about the number of medals, number of certificates which will be handed out in this conference, convocation. And he will also tell you about the measures, very strong measures which we have undertaken to alleviate the problem of false certificates, fake degrees, fake certificates, and students will have long-lasting certificates which does not need lamination, which does not need any protection, especially because the paper is such. Our COE, Controller of Examination, Dr. Murli Mohan, will elaborate on that after I have spoken. So that is the other highlight of the conference. Oh, sorry, convocation.
Medals
and medals, of course. Huh? So you will elaborate on that. The other highlight of the convocation is that in this convocation we are also, our Department of Mass Communication under the very able leadership of Professor Dr. Manoj Das has come up with a film, about 17-minute documentary on Sikkim University, which was premiered actually yesterday in the evening in Kavi Sammelan. But we are formally releasing it today in this press conference. So we will be showing you that documentary also in this press conference. After the conference or between, Dr. Das?
Sir, after the conference they will have questions. So after the questions session is over.
Yeah, so after the Q&A is over, we will show you the documentary which Sikkim University along with some professionals from Bombay movie industry have made that. As far as our other news about our campus is concerned, that's a very common question which I have, I have seen, I have heard. In all press conference, this question about campus is always there. So I know that this question is there. It must be hounding you in your mind as to what's happening to the conference, to our campus. So I'll also give you a brief. And of course, our registrar, Mr. Rao, KVS Commissioner Rao, will elaborate on that. So, as far as our campus is concerned, the package 1, phase 1 is over, with 3 buildings, faculty building, admin building, and the library buildings are complete. They have been made and the contractor has left. The second phase, which is the package 1, phase 2, has begun. Last year in the 21 January, the contract has been handed out, the contractor and the PMC has been appointed, and they have undertaken the furnishing and finishing of these 3 buildings which have already been made, and also new construction with hostels for boys and girls, faculty quarters, classrooms, lab buildings, etc. etc. Mr. Kameshwara will elaborate on that. We have finished the finishing and furnishing of 2 floors, and as in last year in January 21, our Honorable CM and other ministers had visited the campus, and at that time we had made the promise that we will begin formal teaching in the university campus by September of this year, September or October of this year. So we made good of our promise, and we were actually about to begin formal teaching. We had come up with a plan to shift a few departments and actually start formal teaching in the Yang campus from October 17, 2022. But act of God happened on the 9th or 8th of October, the road to Yang got washed off. So we could not complete our shifting and we had to postpone our shifting. But it is very much on our mind, and very soon we will elaborate on that. Mr. Kameshwara will elaborate further on that. So with these remarks, I would stop here.